Welcome on board another informative half-hour journey through the pages of our weekend edition of Jamaica Magazine. So glad you've joined us. I'm Theodore Henry. Coming up, government shares insight on its new approach to managing the coronavirus. Plus, we'll explore some road safety rules and online platforms to help us navigate life much safer and with greater ease. Sit back and relax for these and more interesting features following these important messages.
JamaicaEye can help you protect our citizens.
JamaicaEye will play a part in increasing your public safety.
JamaicaEye is part of an island-wide network of camera surveillance systems designed to increase the safety of you, our citizens. If you have a camera system outside your home or office facing a public space, log on to JamaicaEye.gov.jm today. JamaicaEye, we're all connected. The Ministry of National Security, creating a safer and prosperous Jamaica.
How would you want to be treated if you were diagnosed with COVID-19? Not like this.
Them will talk how I'm wicked and if it dead and they behave like I am the one that created the virus. All my friends as well that were positive, them going through even worse than what I'm going through. Persons are calling police on them as well.
Do not allow your fear of COVID-19 to rob you of your humanity. There is no need to shun or victimize persons with the disease or those on the front line.
To mistreat persons that do have it, it's not a good feeling. We don't cause this on ourselves.
We really need to cut the hate and work together as a country, as communities to overcome.
Let us be understanding with those affected and support each other. Be kind. End the stigma.
Having the right knowledge and understanding is always key in overcoming life's challenges, and this is also important as it relates to COVID-19 and us navigating the current community transmission phase of the virus. Here is how government is approaching its response to keeping us safe as it keeps the information flow and provide for persons possibly needing hospital care.
As a Ministry of Health and Wellness, and we have indicated that we're in community transmission. Our approach, our efforts have to shift once we are defined or determined to have community transmission, meaning once the virus has spread throughout the population, where it can turn up anywhere involving anybody, and there's no immediate recognition of where it came from to that particular individual. In other words, not readily traceable to an index case or an original source. So there's a huge surveillance focus to monitor, because it is in monitoring you observe trends, and in the trends that you observe, you generate a response. Identifying and managing severe cases, so clinical treatment are now prioritized to those who need it most. Hospitalization will for those who require hospital care, those with severe symptoms, which means a ventilator or an intensive care unit or a high dependency unit. Preventing onward transmission is a big focus, meaning public education, getting persons to respond so that they are not passing on the virus, and do so the best we can through individual responsibility, public action, community engagement, and that's what the community health aides and so on are for. So that's a big focus. Alleviating strains on the healthcare services, so addressing the internal dynamics and functioning of our hospitals, providing support to our healthcare workers, expanding where we need to expand our healthcare services, informing and keeping the public informed on recent developments, getting their feedback, getting their testimonials as to how they deal or are dealing with the issues, and satisfying any inquiries or any doubts, fears, anxieties that they have, and reducing the overall social and economic impact of the virus. So really trying to ensure that while we live with the virus, we manage the spread as best as possible to allow Jamaicans to be in a position to continue to live their normal lives, work, play, all the other things that they are accustomed to, social and economic. So community transmission does not envision totally shutting down the economy. Indeed, it envisions managing the spread to ensure that the economy continues to function. Both have to coexist. Assume that all you come in contact with, even your relatives and close friends, are potentially COVID positive cases. And so wearing the masks, the physical distancing, the sanitization is absolutely critical. Bear in mind too that if you are infected, you should protect yourself and protect others around you. And if you have underlying conditions, hypertension, diabetes, renal issues, cardiovascular disease, or any other such issue, a doctor should work with you to determine whether you should have hospital care or you recover from home or from some other facility. The expansion of capacity, and in particular beds, COVID beds, is very much an important part of the plans going forward. And in fact, we have made substantial progress. We have confirmed the arrival of one field hospital. It will be located in the corporate area, and that field hospital will allow for an additional 80 plus or so beds. There's another that is being pursued, which will be a similar field hospital that would be placed in the center of the island, on the south coast actually. Yeah. And then there is a third that will be constructed in the west. So all told, we will add a fair bit of capacity to providing additional beds.
You've asked for it, and now it's here. The Jamaica Information Service has updated its mobile app. It's easier to navigate, loads even faster than before, talking about top speed, operates seamlessly across platforms, and we're a creative bunch, so it's much easier on the eyes. Now you have quick and easy access to news stories, television and radio features, and a variety of photos right at your fingertips. And you'll get push notifications when new content is uploaded. Download the app on your Apple and Android devices now and get news you can use. Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica on the go.
Increased cases of COVID-19 can put a strain on the health system, and one thing we do not want to do is to add to that by creating avoidable medical cases like some of those derived from road traffic accidents. Here are some common road safety features and rules we must follow to keep safe.
It could be the cause of a traffic holdup, disturbing the smooth movement of vehicles. It could be the cause of your arrest or punishment, where, depending on the degree of your offense, you're likely to be fined or jailed. It could be the cause of your physical injury, or that passerby having one less leg to depend on. Or it could be the cause of your life or someone else's. If you're realizing the grisly pattern here, then now would be the time to practice road safety. Road safety implies that measures are in place to limit or prevent road crashes or injuries to users of these thoroughfares. Road users include motorists, vehicle passengers, motorcyclists, and pedestrians. Measures for their safety include things like road signs, road codes, or even physical infrastructure.
On the traffic network, we have various road signs. So we have mandatory signs and we have warning signs and we have informational signs. So the warning signs are basically those signs that tell you that there is some impediment ahead, there is some issues ahead. So you'll see those are normally in the yellow and the black. So they will tell you that there's a traffic light ahead, there's an intersection ahead, there is a corner ahead, and there are other physical features ahead, or bridge, etc. We have the mandatory signs. These are signs that must be obeyed. If you disobey them, just know that you will be issued a traffic ticket. Those signs are normally red. They normally have a red in them. So keep your money in your pocket by obeying those red signs. So they are normally red and white or red, white and black. So that's the common feature of those. Then you will see the signs that are informational. Some of them are blue, some are green. Those just tell you where you must go, how many kilometers away you are from a particular township or location.
Now, after you've had a careful look at road signs as you go along, knowing and understanding the road codes becomes just as important. For us, we've seen people disobey some of those rules more than others.
One of the critical road rules that we must understand is that you see the speeding thing that we love, we need to cut it out. The faster you are going, and if you are involved in a collision, the speed at which the vehicle is going, that's the speed your internal organs are going. That's scientific laws, kinetic energy. The other one, serious risk factor, is the whole matter of not wearing helmet and wearing seatbelt. We have had too many drivers and passengers of motor vehicle parachuting out of motor vehicles. Another risk factor that's out there is the whole matter of cell phone usage. Those things can be distracting, right? So we need also to minimize that as best as possible.
Physical infrastructures have also been implemented to ensure a safer passage on our roadways. Observing all these measures becomes necessary because of the severe impact that disregarding them can and have had on our nation's people.
The numbers are always alarming because for a little country like us, and we've gone 178 days, that's pathetic. But last year this time it was 218. Now it's 178, 40 less. These crashes tend to occur on the road surfaces that are nicely laid. That is not to say that they don't occur on the bad roads, the road infested with potholes and bad. I'm not saying that. There few occur on there, but majority of these fatal crashes are occurring on the nicely laid road sections. And when we look at what contributes to the crashes, we are seeing the human behavior being perpetuated. And we are losing a lot of our young people because of this situation. Must wear our seatbelt, wear our helmet. We have seen over 178 people dead already. Many were not wearing their protective gear. We know that. So we need to reduce those risk factors. We have been giving away our lives on the road, giving it away. 54 motorcyclists dead, all males. Many of whom have their family members who they are living for. COVID-19 has caused us to recognize the importance of following rules and regulations in order to try to keep ourselves safe. Because of COVID-19, the spiral of crashes that we were expecting to occur at night, it has reduced dramatically. But what we have seen is that there is still cause for concern because in the day, COVID-19 has not caused drivers to be more careful as they drive on the road. Let us use that same impetus and spirit of wanting to live through Corona to wanting to live as we drive on the road and not put ourselves at risk and not put other people at risk. Let us try to be each other's keeper in this season.
So, while on the road, let's help to protect her life, his life, their lives, and our lives.
Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JSIF, celebrating over 20 years of investment in community development. JSIF has forged relationships with international funding partners as well as private and public sector entities. Let us continue to invest to reduce vulnerabilities. Let us build our social capital and resilient infrastructures to ensure full participation in Vision 2030. JSIF, investing for community development.
As we all endeavor to keep safe and adhere to the social distancing rules during this COVID-19 pandemic, doing business online becomes a valid asset. So, if you are into the business of import or export, you must check out this one-stop electronic web-based system that allows traders to submit information at a single point to fulfill all import and export regulatory requirements. It is improving the exchange of information among traders, customs officers, and border control agencies. Take a look.
Picture this. You're a busy entrepreneur working hard to grow your business. At the wharf to be cleared are the materials needed to make your products. You are required to visit several government offices and fill out multiple forms with similar information to complete this activity, spending time on the trading process that could otherwise be invested in your business. For you, this may just be a mental exercise, but for many entrepreneurs in Jamaica, it is the reality of trade. A reality that will change with the introduction of the Jamaica Electronic Single Window for Trade. An electronic single window ESW is an IT platform that facilitates the efficient clearance of cargo.
An electronic single window is expected to bring simplification, harmonization, and facilitation on international trade transactions under a robust electronic environment. This will bring facilities for customs brokers, government officials to interact with a computerized systems that will have a set of business rules that will allow the traders to fulfill all regulatory requirements, submit all the required data, and be able to complete their transactions in a single and seamless system.
With that electronic single window for trade, clearly it's an electronic form, and that will be filled out one time at your convenience, online, and then behind the scene, the BRAs, the Border Regulatory Agency, will collaborate to ensure that your application is accepted.
The agencies connected to the system will be able to grant the necessary permits, licenses, and approval for the release of merchandise. When approval is given, the trader receives a notification and can then proceed to collect or send off goods. The introduction of an ESW will reduce the cost and time it takes to import and export goods, creating a more enabling environment for local entrepreneurs and foreign investors.
Where we can develop and implement a system where all the transactions can take place through a particular port or point or window in this instance, it makes doing business easier. By extension, therefore, it is expected that the interest in conducting business will be improved, will be increased, and investors will see Jamaica as an even more attractive investor destination. On the other side, it also will aid in the collection of revenue, where we can have a greater throughput of trade and of activity, which by extension generates even much more in terms of the economy.
Implementation of the ESW began in August 2018, and the timeline for completion is 36 months. Over 20 border and regulatory government agencies will connect to the platform. The entity responsible for collecting revenue from trade, the Jamaica Customs Agency, is the lead implementing agency.
The electronic single window system will be fully integrated, of course, with the Ascuda World system. They're both built on the Ascuda World platform. That information will be passed seamlessly from the electronic single window into the customs management system. And that, of course, reduces time and complexity, having a single point of contact and simplification of information. So that transparent environment, having that electronic track and trace, and of course, ensuring that persons are carrying out their functions within the agreed time frame.
The ESW is projected to reduce the number of entities a trader comes in contact with from as much as 5 to 1. In the future, this is how a trader could be making arrangements for the clearance of goods. The Jamaica Electronic Single Window, facilitating efficiency in trade, contributing to a robust business environment, a part of the framework for making it easier to do business with Jamaica.
I know our grade 11 students are wondering where will we go come September and all of what is happening with the cost to cover tertiary institution. It may cause them to think that I'm not able to go to tertiary institution this year.
Stop right there. If this applies to you, meaning you're a grade 11 student who is wondering, will I be able to access tertiary education this academic year? Erase those doubts, because the Ministry of Education has some good news for you.
You are able to access your post-secondary education at your high school, and your high schools will partner with the tertiary institutions. The government will cover that cost, and our students will do this in pursuit of their associate degree or in preparation for their associate degrees.
It is no secret that COVID-19 has given rise to numerous economic constraints for parents and students worldwide. Some parents have lost their jobs, have experienced salary cuts, and as such, sending their youngsters to tertiary institutions this year seems like an unattainable feat. The Ministry of Education is well aware of these challenging circumstances and as such, developed a plan.
This year, parents, we have rebranded our career advancement program to include the sixth form program. In the past, we would have accounted for at least 1/3 of our grade 11 cohorts moving on to sixth form, others into the world of work, others into community colleges. And the parents would have had to assume the cost for the community college program. Under this framework, all students would have an opportunity to enroll in one of our 3 pathways in sixth form. And this program will be covered under the resources of the government.
The new sixth form program will now take 3 forms, called Pathways 1, 2, and 3. They are designed to foster greater inclusion and accessibility for grade 11 students.
It's Pathway 1, which we call the traditional sixth form that you're accustomed to. Pathway 2, which we are now referring to as a technical sixth form. And Pathway 3, which is our general sixth form. So the traditional sixth form, those students who would matriculate with their 5 CXC, including math and English, would have enrolled in their traditional sixth form at any institution. We will still retain that formula.
Under Pathway 1, students will be able to pursue subjects of their choice in a quest to obtain an associate degree in CAPE upon completion within 2 years. For Pathway 2, students will pursue Level 1 or 2 in a labor market skill of choice. They will be able to complete the program in 1 year and transition to the Occupational Associate Degree program in grade 13. To be enrolled, students should attain at least 1 CSEC subject, NVQJ, CVQ, or City and Guilds English and/or Mathematics Stage 3. Students who do not satisfy any of the above requirements will be required to sit the Heart Diagnostic Test and obtain a minimum mark of 25 in both mathematics and English. Pathway 3, on the other hand, is designed for students who do not meet any of the requirements established for traditional or technical pathways. The program developed will allow students to focus on strengthening their literacy and numeracy skills and working towards attaining City and Guilds certification. Students will also be introduced to a specialized skill area, in addition to their other developmental areas, leading to NVQJ certification. Those who make good progress will be able to transfer to the technical pathway. Pathways 2 and 3 will be executed in partnership with numerous public and private tertiary institutions across the island.
So some of our grade 11 students will pursue their sixth form program on tertiary campuses. So we have already started the consultations. We have met with our high school principals. We have met with our tertiary principals, and they will now continue the dialogue. We have developed the framework. We have put together the instrument that they will use for this partnership. And so the dialogue is continuing now as to how our students will be attached, who will be retained at the high school level, and who will pursue their sixth form program at a particular tertiary institution that is in close proximity to the high schools.
So you see, there is no need to be worried about your ability to fund tertiary education this academic year. The Ministry of Education has you covered.
So all students' parents, we are expecting all our grade 11 students to go back at the end of this exam period, when we will receive the exam results on the 27th of September of this year. We are expecting that our students will go back to their high school institution and they will indicate the area that they would want to pursue based on their subjects that they would have attained at the CXE, in addition to the NCT VET, as well as any other program of study that they would have pursued, like the City and Guild. So every student will have a place in our sixth form student for the new academic year.
To learn more about this new inclusive sixth form program, contact the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information at 922-140029. All the best.
And I was raised resilient people, a tropical island. Oh yeah, and I learned to smile. Here I learned what love is. Authentic Jamaica, the happiest island. Oh yes. So let's remind ourselves and tell the world hello, hello. I'm a Jamaican. We are Jamaicans. Hello, hello. I'm a Jamaican. The energy is high. Our people proud and strong. When we stand together, we're rising for better. Oh yeah. We're many, but one. Together we will strive. When unity is our strength, we rise from our struggles. Oh yeah. So let's remind ourselves and tell the world hello, hello. I'm a Jamaican. We are Jamaicans. Hello, hello. I'm a Jamaican.
And that brings us to the end of our journey on Jamaica Magazine for today. Be sure to join us again tomorrow for another informative show. Until then, continue to watch this and other programs by logging on to our website at jis.gov.jm or subscribing to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to click the notifications bell. You may also find us on all the major social media platforms and through our mobile app that's Android and iOS compatible. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Theodore Henry, urging you to stay COVID-19 free.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.